What?
Is this a good business?
Yeah, it's a good business. I wouldn't be in it if it wasn't.
Why is it a good business?
Because only the tough survive. That's the reason you ain't in it. And this punk holding the camera reading he ain't in it. Reading these rednecks out here ain't in it. Because it's a tough business.
That's terrific.
Wait, is that all you got?
I'll ask you the standard question. You know?
Standard question.
I think this is fake.
You think it's fake? What's that? Is that fake? Huh? What the hell's wrong with you? That's open hand slap, huh? You think it's fake? You talk like them. It's fake? Huh? What do you mean?
All right, folks. Welcome to episode 3 of Matt Marks. I'm Dogbite Harris. I'm here with my co-host, Tim Cutter.
What's up, buddy?
Not a whole lot. How you doing, buddy?
Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all.
Oh, we got the kids up. I hear.
Yeah, Wyatt just came in the room.
Did he? Nice.
He got shootout though.
That's the huh?
He got shoot out by Melanie.
Oh, he got shootout.
Yeah.
Ah, well, that's life. The life of
right.
Life of family men.
Right.
So, what do you got first on the agenda there tonight, sir?
So I just think we just go in the normal order, and we'll try not to skip Raw this week, and we'll make sure we chit chat about Dark Side of the Ring because we totally botched and missed that one last week. I know you really wanted to talk about it.
Yeah. So, all right.
So yeah, I think we just jump right into SmackDown and how that started.
Okay. Honestly, I think I didn't watch shit on SmackDown after you told me it sucked.
Yeah, it was kind of rough.
I'll let you lead the way then, because
Okay.
I do want to say something about the Triple H thing though. That's about
Okay. Yeah. I kind of fast forwarded through most of that. It was kind of corny myself, but anyway. So yeah, things started off with New Day and them coming out, bragging about being tag champs, this and that. Then Miz and Morrison came out and they kind of went back and forth, and then Lucha House Party came out, and then the Forgotten Sons came out, and so all four teams kind of had a little brawl for all there.
I like the Forgotten Sons.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Forgotten Sons too.
I hope they don't get fucking buried like every other good tag team with a somewhat of a gimmick that's came up the ranks.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I don't think have any of the former tag champs from NXT done anything in on the two bigger shows yet.
Well,
I mean, really remember.
AOP and I mean I don't know, they give away the belts kind of like they're candy,
Yeah,
so
right.
And then they fucking pass them off just as quick as somebody gets them, so neither one of them are really relevant, which sucks,
Right.
But yeah, I mean AOP
Viking Raiders have had a little bit of love coming from NXT.
Yeah, but I mean they've still made their shit so stupid. What they wanted to call them the Viking Experience when they came up at first, and then what do they call them in NXT?
Viking. Oh, shit, I don't even remember. Yeah, I can't even remember what the heck they were called in NXT.
It wasn't
War Machine like it should have been.
No, I don't understand why the fuck they didn't just leave their name like it was.
Yeah, they're an established team. Yeah, why mess with it?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking stupid. Just typical WWE bullshit.
Right.
But yeah, I like Forgotten Son quite a bit. They didn't seem to really either. I haven't been paying that much attention to NXT, or Forgotten Son kind of didn't spend a lot of time there.
Steve Cutler had been there a long time. Wesley Blake had been there a long time. And then when Jackson Riker came there from the Impact world, they after some time those guys kind of disappeared, and then they finally formed this team. And as a team, they'd probably only been around maybe 18 months or so as a trio. And finally got that push because they finally found a gimmick that worked for them. Even though Blake and Murphy worked when they had Alexa Bliss as their valet or whatever for a while there.
Oh, okay.
They held NXT Gold for a little while too.
I remember him now. His image just changed so much. Did they have the gold? I didn't think they had the gold.
I thought they held the gold for a span of time. I could be wrong though.
I thought they split up.
Or at least they wrestled for it. I know they went after it.
They were a front runner. I know that back when I think Big Cass and Enzo.
During their time there at NXT.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then after the the four tag team segment, then we jumped into King Corbin and Drew Gulak for
Yeah.
another Money in the Bank qualifier match, and that was another one where it was like, oh, this is very unentertaining, and Corbin ended up getting the win, and
Well, of
another
course
guy
he
in
did.
the Money in the Bank qualifier. Then from there we had Sheamus against some jobber, nothing special. Lucha House Party beat Miz and Morrison from a distraction. Lacey Evans and Sasha Banks, I was hoping was going to be a little bit more entertaining of a match, but that was another Money in the Bank qualifier that Lacey Evans ended up picking up the win on that one.
Hmm.
Then we cut to a video package of Braun and Bray, which, yeah, and I kind of, you and I went over that last week, where we're kind of like, it's a great feud to have, but with this no crowd, it's kind of a bummer feud to have.
Well, and it's too soon for it.
Yeah.
Way too soon for it. It doesn't do either one of them any good. I mean, like I said, we
Right.
talked about this last week. I mean, Braun loses it to Bray, which is probably the best case scenario. But then
Right.
that doesn't do anything for Bray but make him a champion for what, a month and a half or 2 months, and kind of fucking sends him back down the fucking ranks again to fucking wrestling fucking Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura in weird
Right.
way matches or whatever. And
Right.
and then you go to I mean, but then if Bray loses, fuck, dude, that's just bullshit at that point. Why did they put all this work and this money? You know, they had to drop a pretty penny on getting him that mask, getting him this character, the amount of time they spent on the Funhouse every week's got to be.
Yeah, and you had him pick up, the W against. Granted, he hasn't been around for a minute, but he's still John Cena. He's still, on a lot of folks' Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling, and you have him beat him in 13 minutes or whatever it was, and I mean, it just wouldn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they should have never had Bray drop it to Goldberg.
No, that was.
If they wanted to make this if they wanted to make this a really good feud, they should have had Bray hold on to it for about a year and then put Braun in the picture and been like, "Look, motherfucker, we've got a bone to pick."
Yeah, right.
Guess
I'm
who's
no
not
longer your black sheep? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he's not your lackey anymore, and we got a fucking problem, and I want that belt. And then that would have put Braun over. That would have been a good way to put Braun over, especially if once they let Bray have it for a while, the character's losing a little bit of steam. Fucking have Braun come in and take it from it if they really want to put him over. Don't do it.
Yeah, I think it's probably just it's forced writing coming from the Fox people saying that we need something, with this quarantine and this no crowd, we need something that's exciting and that the people want to see. It's like, well, the people want to see it, but we want to see a good build also.
Yeah, fuck. They should have just threw like I don't know, Sheamus to fucking Braun or some shit.
Right.
Should have threw him some fucking bullshit until they were ready to have it handed off to Bray.
Right.
SummerSlam would have probably been a good time to do it.
Yeah, especially if things start going in the positive direction with COVID. Yeah, it'd be a decent feud to have kicking off then. So anyway, after the Braun and Bray thing, then we had the women tag team title match between Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. They beat Carmella and Dana Brooke in a very uneventful match. Like I said, the whole damn show was uneventful. And then to the crowning jewel of the night, which I'm pretty sure you already said you wanted to say your piece about, the Triple H celebration.
Well, first off, I did try to watch it. I couldn't make any fucking sense of it. It was some fucking gibberish.
Right.
What in the fuck, man? Like, seriously, am I the only one here that didn't get it at all? Like, what the fuck was the point?
Yeah, right. I mean, I understand 25 years of Hunter doing his thing in the WWE because nobody wants to remember Terror Rising from WCW. But I mean, there was the original the Blue Blood, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and then it went into the DX stuff, and then like I said, it didn't make any sense. And then he went out there and was chit chatting, and Sean comes out, and then they started chit chatting, and then Vince comes out, and whatever the hell that was.
Yeah, that was, and then it made even less sense when Vince came out. Right. It was like it was such a fucking train wreck. And then, so a lot of people are saying like they think Vince is sick or something, And I'll tell you, that's the shittiest I've seen Vince McMahon look in a lot of years.
He's not a young man anymore. He's what,
No,
72 or something like that?
74.
74.
I
Okay.
looked at 74. And he, yeah, he's not a young man anymore, but he doesn't look like he's working out as much. He like kind of acts like he's, there's actually been some backstage reports that he's kind of, been a little precarious, like not himself.
Okay. So
Like almost
could be.
like sounds like he's showing signs of dementia or
That's what I was
something.
gonna say. Some onset of getting older. Yeah. Right.
Well, he's at that age, and like I think was it? Did we talk about this last time? Like last year? You think the motherfucker'd want to retire at some point in time?
Yeah. We've talked about this a couple different times.
And I think I just said last year too. Speaking of fucking dementia, but I mean, you think he'd want to retire at some point in time? He's worked his ass off his whole life. Like whether you love or hate Vince McMahon is irrelevant to the fact that the guy is a crazy, insane worker. It's
Mm-hmm.
he sleeps like 3 hours a night, 4 hours a night. He works out.
Which has got to take its toll after a while.
Mhm.
Like I know there's been studies shown that like people can operate between 3 and 5 hours of sleep, but you would have to think that if you're doing that for so many years, that it's gotta catch up to you at some point.
Yeah, and he works out like he's a fucking athlete, which he
Yeah,
is. And and the guy didn't start taking bumps until he was like 50. He decided that 50 he wanted to start, and the dude took insane bumps for a 50-year-old man.
yeah, right.
You know, the guy was insane. I mean, you say what you want about Vince McMahon, but Jesus Christ, he's nuts. And I think he'd want to slow the fuck down, maybe enjoy some time with his grandkids. Fucking
Right.
take a break, sleep in a little bit, maybe eat some food that's not real good for him. Because from what Jim Cornette says on his podcast, that he just eats like a crazy man too. Like he doesn't ever fucking eat anything terrible.
Well, Brody Lee was on the Jericho podcast, and he said that that depiction that he had of those vignettes where he was kind of had a little Vince-esque to him, that the guy will eat a steak and then like eat another steak right behind it, and not eat not eat his starch or not eat his veggies, just like a piece of red meat and then followed by
Mhm.
another piece of red meat. So yeah, he's got a pretty wild diet.
Well, I think he eats veggies, but they say he doesn't eat hardly any starch. Cornette said he'll eat a little bit of bread every once in a while,
Mm-hmm.
but he says, yeah, he doesn't eat a lot of bullshit, really.
Right, which
A
I
lot of.
can understand that.
Mhm.
But
Which,
red meat upon red meat with a little bit of veggie and some starch here and there that's gotta take its toll on your body too.
mhm, I guess, I don't know, but that's kind of what I wanted to talk about is just the fact that I've been hearing a few things about his health not doing good, and son of a bitch, he's had a rough year, with he's getting
Financially, yeah,
sued.
right.
He's getting sued by his partners in XFL, which sucks.
Yeah.
For him. I mean, it kind of sucks. Like, I kind of like the idea of a second football. I always have.
Yeah, no competition, even though it might not be like legit competition, because
Mm-hmm.
the season happens directly after the Super Bowl. But it's I can't remember who I told this before,
Kind
but
of like the AEW of football.
yeah, but that's a competition of sorts. This is just like
Mhm.
giving those guys that weren't quite good enough a second chance, kind of thing. And I think
Well,
that's it's a kind of cool little
mhm.
I wouldn't say homage, but a cool little thing for guys that are just on the cusp, or guys that had some career-ending injury but think they can come back for one last run. That kind of thing.
Mhm. Yeah, and then it kind of gives your average, beer drinking fan that doesn't have anything else to do on the weekends to something to do every once in a while.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like
say,
I said,
after the Super Bowl, it's you got the NBA and you got hockey, and there's a lot of anti NBA and anti hockey fans, so that
mhm.
gives something for those, exactly like I said, the beer drinkers to do on the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know a lot of people I know really enjoyed the Dragons up in Seattle,
Right,
and
you've said that a couple
and it's
times.
funny too because they tried. the liberals in that town, not to get too political, and I'm anybody who's listening, I'm not shitting on liberals because I'm definitely not a conservative by any means, but there's a certain breed of liberal that has to tear everything down that they think is, not politically correct.
Right.
They wrote a big article in The Stranger about how, Vince McMahon's a piece of shit and you shouldn't support this and stuff. So it's like, yeah, so I was thinking it wouldn't go over that well, but like they're popping up there, man. People really like the Dragons. So
Yeah.
so I'm kind of sad for him on the fact that like, oh, it almost worked, and it didn't. But some people say that they think that he filed bankruptcy on it to keep it going. They think that it'll come back again, but he just had to, given the circumstances, for some reason. But I don't know how that.
Time will tell, right?
I guess, but I don't know now that his partner's suing him or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And then, but yeah, and then Mania. Fuck, he had to take a bath on that.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money he lost on it or how much money he salvaged on it, but I'm sure just with advertising alone, it was a few million.
Oh yeah, and then having to pull the plug on renting out the flipping Tampa Bay Buccaneers stadium. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm sure they probably didn't charge him. I'm sure they didn't.
They might have worked something out.
But I mean, I'm sure that there has to be something in the contract that says if a fucking plague comes around,
unforeseen events or whatever. Yeah, right.
Yeah, you get your security deposit back or whatever,
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how that works when you rent out a big stadium, but I know that, it's got to be, I don't know.
Yeah, I would imagine it's a pretty penny.
I doubt that cost him as much money as people think it did, though. That him losing that, but here's the thing, though. I'm sure they buy equipment and shit for it all year long, which a lot of it can probably be reused and stuff. But I mean, that alone probably cost them a lot of money. Probably like to recoup some money on that, and just ticket sales alone. Refunding a fucking $1 billion worth of tickets probably sucked. Well, I don't know if it was $1 billion or not, but probably a lot. Probably a lot of money.
I just looked it up on Forbes. They lost $22 million.
On Mania?
On Mania, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. I mean, and if you think about it, that's $1 billion company. So it's like a quarter of their money,
Right.
How much is WWE worth?
You'd have to give me a minute and I'd look up that stat.
Yeah.
In the meantime, if you want to, we can move on to Monday, and while I look up that stat.
All right, I did watch Monday, which unfortunately I watched Monday.
Did you catch BTE? I was gonna go to BTE first.
Oh fuck! I knew I was forgetting something.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It was kind of a.
What was it? The Sky. I watched the first part of it. I knew I was forgetting something, though.
Yeah, so they did more quarantine stuff, and Matt and Nick were looking up at the sky, like there was some skywriting up there, and then a bunch of just kind of randomness went on, and then it shot back to Nick and Matt, and then up in the sky it said FTR for Fear the Revolt, Fear the Revival, or in Cody's words, fuck the revival.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're
teasing, the what are their names? Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, or I can't think what the hell their names are right now.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool though. I guess that's something worthy to watch. I mean, I knew I was forgetting something too because I did pretty good this week. I mean, I avoided Impact because you told me it was garbage. So I was like, I'm not even gonna bother.
It was definitely a bust from night one. Night one was significantly better.
Yeah, but I didn't watch that.
So,
but anyways,
I was going to jump back to WWE money wise. So the revenue of this is 2018 stats was $930 million, but their net income was only $99.6 million. So
okay, I thought that he broke into the billion.
Nope, not quite on his revenue. He's just 70 million shy of breaking a billion. That was 2018.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Fox deal put him into billionaire territory. Right. But But yeah, I mean that's like a quarter of their money. That's quite a bit. That'll make your
Yeah.
butthole pucker and make you lay some people off, I guess, you know?
So 2019 they were 960 million, so not quite a billion either.
Would you like to hear a secret? Parents, I need you to stop lying to your children. You're telling them that monsters are not real. I swear, monsters are real. And who am I? What am I? Lightning. I'm everything. I'm the dirt grass beneath your toes. I'm a boxcar and a pack of matches. I'm the air that's all around you. All this is a riddle. Everything all around you is a riddle. Things may appear different than they really are. Thus is the mystery of me, open to the world's interpretation. We're coming.
Well, anyways, might as well roll right into Raw, huh?
Yeah, sounds good. You said you didn't watch Raw all the way through.
No, I think
Okay.
I got the gist of it, though. I think the only thing I had left to watch was the Rollins Drew contract signing or whatever,
Okay.
and I think I saw enough of that online to get the gist of that. But we can
Right.
you can run through that if you want when we get to it. But
Okay, yeah, we can do that. So yeah, we start off with Money in the Bank segment with MVP, inviting all those guys out, and then
I just gotta
Zelina.
say,
Oh, go ahead.
I just gotta say too, like I like MVP as a host. I
Oh,
think
he is so much better as a mouthpiece. I was telling my wife that like I dig MVP as a manager or as a mouthpiece in some way, shape, or form. I could give two shits if he ever gets in the ring and wrestles
wrestles
again,
again.
but
Yeah, no,
if he's talking, I'm all about it.
yeah, he's not really all that entertaining in the ring these days. But I really
I
did
was never a
enjoy the
fan
show.
of him in the ring.
You know, he was kind of there during a pocket where I wasn't really watching all that much, and I never
Right.
got the. I can't really remember a match that memorized me, or just like
Yeah, something that sticks out.
yeah. Anyways, I mean, I don't think he was terrible, but I don't think he was really good. And then, but I'll tell you, I was impressed with his hosting skills in this thing, and I'd like to see a little more of him as a personality on the show. I think he could save it, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I'm on the same page with you. I think that he when he cut a promo a little bit further in, near the end of the show with two NXT guys, Shane Thorne and Brandon
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Vink. I'm sorry, against Cedric Alexander and Ricochet. He cut a nice little promo there, and it was like, okay, I could see him if he wants to be the mouthpiece for these two Australian dudes. I could work with that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, so like I said, we start off with the Money in the Bank thing, and then Zelina Vega's boys chimed in, and then then we had an impromptu 6-man tag match with Apollo, Alistair,
Well,
and
I
Bray.
finally got to see Austin Theory in action, and
Hmm.
he's not bad in the ring.
No, I think he's very talented in the ring.
I
I
think
think
he's
I think
really
he lacks a little
strong.
bit of a personality, but no, he looks very good.
Yeah, he's very strong for as small as he is too.
I mean,
You know.
yeah, like he looks like he should be a cruiserweight, but I looked up his weight. He's like 220 pounds, so he's that Seth
Yeah.
Rollins size guy.
Yeah, he's not quite as cut as Seth, but I think
No,
he's a
not
little
quite as cut,
taller.
but he looks thick, a little thicker. Like Seth looks very cut and lean, and Austin Theory has like I was gonna be a bodybuilder, but then I decided to be a pro wrestler kind of look to him.
Hmm.
Where he's got a big shoulders, big wide shoulders.
Yeah. Another thing I wrote here is, Mysterio looks pretty fucking good for as old as he is.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's damn near
Stand,
damn near pushing 50.
I can't stand him on the mic, but I guess it's just kind of his shtick. It always has been. He's never
The,
got a
the,
lot
the
of
little guy, yeah, the
personality.
little guy, right?
Yeah, but I mean, he looks really good in the ring for a 50-year-old. I mean, like a lot of these guys come back or hold on for too long, but he's kind of, I'd rank him up there with Dustin as far as age and holding up. He's actually smaller than he was. I think probably I have a feeling he was juicing in the 2000s.
Yeah, he was pretty cut then.
He got really big in the 2000s. And then, but now he's kind of looks like he's deflated a bit, but he still moves around the ring really good for an older guy.
Yeah, 45, so he's not as quite as old as I thought he was, but
Yeah,
still,
but that's still old for a wrestler.
right. So what did you think about Samoa Joe on commentary?
I actually got notes on that
Okay.
right after that. I like Joe on commentary. It's a shame they don't use him more in the ring, but
I think he's
Joe
still
on
rehabbing an
commentary,
injury. I
is
think
he?
it's why. Yeah, I believe he's still rehabbing an injury and hasn't been cleared to wrestle yet, and that's why they're just kind of getting him back on TV because they need more personalities.
Yeah. Well, and they fired a few people. But I really wish they would have got Joe fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I like Joe now, and I want to see him with the belt, but you can tell that his son is setting on his time and wrestling. I think, he's getting
Yeah,
older.
he's pushing 40 as well.
He's put on a lot of weight too, and when that starts happening in your wrestling, if you don't get it off, you start injuring yourself a lot more. This isn't his first injury here, is it? He's been
No,
injured two or three times.
This is like 3 or 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't foresee him lasting too much longer. A lot of people that are really OG wrestling fans want to see wanted to see Joe versus Brock, like in a good match, like a wrestling submission hold match, but that's never happened.
Yeah.
I think weren't they in a match once though?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember exactly if it was in the WWE world, if it was.
It was, but I think it was a squash.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I have to look it up, but I think it was a squash match. It was kind of disappointing. But
yeah, I was gonna say when Brock went over and did his thing in New Japan after his first run in WWE, that was like 2004, 2005, somewhere in that time frame.
I didn't know Brock did anything in New Japan.
Yeah, he held the IWGP title, heavyweight title at one point in New Japan. Like when he was doing his thing over there, and he was kind of getting that Japanese strong style, and still a younger man at that point in time. I think him and Joe back in 2004, 2005, that time frame would have been insane match to watch. But unfortunately, I don't believe paths ever crossed, so we never got to see it until they were in the I wouldn't say twilight of their career, but as the tail end of their career, we'll put it that way.
Well, yeah, and they're both brutes too, man. Like legit brutes.
Right.
They would beat the shit out of each other and not have a problem with it,
Yeah, right. So then we went to more Triple H vignettes from his DX days and all that stuff, and then we had a no contest. I don't even think the match even started between Nia, Shayna, and Asuka.
That
Nia
was
gonna
about
beat the shit everybody with the ladder or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was dumb. Nia looks like shit, man. Not good.
Mm-hmm.
She did not utilize her time off well, I don't think.
No, I think she rehabbed whatever her injury was, but didn't put in a whole hell of a lot of work, in the gym.
When you're that size or you're lacking in something, like look at Owens did it. Owens came back looking good. Ambrose did when he came back. Like if you're gonna be out, focus on your fucking downfall, especially if you've got 2 knee replacements. Work on your upper body,
Right. I mean, I know they want her to be a big, big bruising force, big bruising gal or whatever. But yeah, I mean,
but she's not gonna be small.
Something.
She's not going to be small,
No, yeah.
There's
no,
no
we're not.
difference between being a brute and being Yokozuna's, cousin or some shit.
Right.
Like Yokozuna was always hard for me to believe. He was very agile for a big man, but he just looked like a slob.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, like, I don't have any room to talk, but I'm not a professional wrestler either.
Right.
So with me, I think if I was a professional wrestler, I had to go in for 2 fucking knee replacements. I would definitely focus on what needed to be
rehabbing the knee. But then when I couldn't do anything with my knees, I definitely work on the upper body in some way, shape, or form for sure.
Bench press probably is what I'd do. Bench press and arms.
Yeah, get toned. Yeah, try and get toned up.
Yep. I mean, I guess you do use your legs a lot to work your stomach too. I was just thinking because I had been working out quite a bit before this shit happened. So, yeah, I mean, you do use your legs a bit to work your stomach. So that'd be kind of tough too. But there's still other shit she could do.
Yeah,
you know?
there's modified all sorts of shit you can do to avoid messing with your legs too much.
She really, really didn't look good out there, and I really don't like the fact that you know, Shayna's so hot right now that I don't understand why fucking she's even on the same realm as Shayna.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
I mean, if they wanted to put her, they should. If they wanted to put her in the main running someplace, should have took her over to fucking SmackDown.
Yeah, let her beat up
You
on
know,
those girls over there.
yeah. I mean, Lacey's probably one of the best ones there right now, and she's probably one of the greenest. So, I mean, I guess if they really wanted to put her over, they should have put her in fucking SmackDown because
Right.
Shayna. Well, and then you got Asuka. I'm so sick of watching them bury poor Asuka. I was thinking Asuka should just go to AEW and make the fucking women's division there. You know?
Yeah, I mean, she definitely has personality. I know a lot of the Japanese girls over there in AEW lack personality because they don't know how to connect with an American crowd. Asuka's figured out how to connect with an American crowd, so yeah, I
Yeah,
would
she can't speak a
definitely.
lick of English really, but she's
But
still.
she doesn't need to. Her crazy, you know, Japanese feudal lord, whatever whatever the hell you want to
She's
technically
kind
call
of like
the
a
gimmick.
Japanese
It's
Vicky Guerrero.
yeah, right.
Someone.
I can see
Well,
that.
she talks. She's just very like it doesn't matter. She's just loud. She makes noise, and she's being obnoxious, and you can
Yeah,
tell.
but it's great though. It works.
Mhm.
It
I've always
works.
loved Asuka. I've always
Right.
loved Shinsuke too. Shinsuke's another one they fucking bury like a motherfucker. He's one of my
Yeah.
favorite NXT champions.
Yeah.
You know?
Wins the Royal Rumble and then yeah, it doesn't. I don't remember how long his WrestleMania match was, but it wasn't much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so
I, they had,
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I didn't even remember he won the Royal Rumble. I forgot that he'd won the fucking thing
Yeah.
until you just said something. That's how
Yeah.
fucking shitty they've treated him.
Right.
He's another one I'd like to see go someplace, you know. And honestly, not to New Japan. I'd like to see him someplace in America where he'd be used, you know.
Yeah. I mean, if MLW or Ring of Honor had better TV deals, I think that'd be okay. I don't know about. I don't know if I would want to see him in Impact though. I mean, they have the best. They have the best
Yeah, and
TV deal outside of AEW and WWE, obviously. But
well, and
yeah, I don't know.
anymore, I hate saying send him to AEW because we were talking about this last week with uh, MV Young. Like they're kind of running out of room, you know.
Yeah,
They're starting to get to the point where they are in the same boat as WWE when it comes to not utilizing all the talent they
right. I
have
mean,
because of it, you know.
their singles men's roster is what it's like at 52 guys, and their ladies are at
Yeah.
somewhere between actively or somewhere between 11 and 18 with females. So it's like, yeah, that's way too much talent on TV to not know what the hell to do with them.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, the creep cruising.
Okay, so we had Lashley beat up some jobber, which is kind of just a whatever
Okay.
match.
So,
Him and
hey,
his
I want to go back for just a sec
okay.
because in between Lashley and that match, I saw the advertisement for the new 2K Battleground game. What are
I thought it
you
was afterwards. I was going to bring that up next, but yeah,
really?
for some reason I thought it was afterwards. But anyways, go
Maybe I
ahead
just spaced the Bobby Lashley thing.
because it was that
So
boring.
yeah, fuck Bobby Lashley. I've never liked that guy.
Yeah,
Um,
I liked him in Impact, but I've never liked him in WWE. I don't know
yeah,
why. I don't.
yeah, he was all right in Impact, but not. He was definitely his better days are in Impact, but.
Right, right.
But anyways, yeah, I kind of think that looks like a fucking cool game myself, and I think they needed to change it up some.
See,
What do you?
I'm of the other side of things where I don't like the NFL Blitz, NBA Jam. I mean, that's basically what this is, but in both pro wrestling, where it's super over the
Yeah,
top. I like the realistic thing. Like I'm the type of guy that I'll tweak and make all these brand new tag teams or make sure I get all their finishes to the appropriate finish. If a wrestler changes his finish, I'll go change it in the video game. So I'm a I'm a guy from that side of the tracks where I like everything to be as real
mm,
as possible, but that's not always the case for everybody. So some folks might dig this. I mean, I once the game got announced, I went on Twitter and kind of started scrolling through the initial announcement, and a lot of the folks that I was seeing on there were on my side of things, but then there was a handful of folks that liked the over the top stuff too. So it'll, we'll see what it does, kind of thing.
Yeah. I kind of like it because I was into like the NBA Street games and
Yeah,
shit,
and that's exactly what it is. It's WWE's over the top arcade style is what they call it, arcade style.
Well, I think it'll be really
Game.
cool if it has a good story mode on it, though. Like if it's got a good story mode on it, they might have sold me on a new game.
Right.
But yeah, I kind of like the idea of it, just because I've been bored as fuck with 2K.
Well, yeah,
They just
2K has been garbage the last 2 years. I mean, we
it's
haven't
like
had
the
a
same shit.
decent 2K game since 2018. But there was so many issues with this year's game that it was, oh man, it was the they I've seen many YouTube and articles saying that this was the most patched WWE 2K game of all time with 8 patches. So I mean, in other words, we fucked up 8 different times that we tried to fix it, and it's still a giant train wreck after those 8 freaking patches as well.
Huh.
Yeah. So.
Well,
Yeah. So moving on, we got Liv Morgan beat Ruby Riott with. I texted you.
yeah,
Liv's little springboard flatliner finish. That thing's fucking badass.
that's good. That's probably one of the best finishes I've seen in a long time, man or woman.
Yeah, no, it's innovative and it looks like a
It's
devastating
clean.
finish. Yeah, and she
It was
executed
good,
she executed
and that was a good
perfect,
match.
perfectly. Yeah, it was actually a very pleasant match between those two gals.
I'm kind of surprised they had Ruby go under to Liv, but I don't know. Maybe because it seemed like Ruby was getting some steam for a minute, but maybe they kind of lost some hope on her. But it definitely looks like they're going to push Liv, and that was a good match. If they are planning on pushing her, now's a good time to do it because she's looking really good in the ring.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Um,
After that, we had Viking Raiders cut a promo on the Street Profits. Then and after that, we had Jinder Mahal come back from his shoulder injury or whatever it was,
son of a
and
bitch.
squashed.
So here's my
Tozawa.
thought. Here's my thought on the whole fucking thing. How the fuck do you let a guy like Rusev go and then bring that fucking guy back in such a capacity? It's looking like they're pushing him again. Which I don't even. Ginger's not that bad. And there was actually points in his title reign that I thought it was actually he did pretty good at getting heat.
Oh no, he did a great job. He's a great heel to have.
But it really irritates me that they let like Rusev go. There's a lot of good talent they let go, and then they let this guy come back.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened with Rusev, but that his little feud he had with Bobby and getting divorced from Lana, and then Bobby and Lana are together.
I'm almost wondering if him and Lana
weird.
legitimately split up.
Yeah, like they're legit on the outs, and maybe that.
Yeah, I think that might be the case. I think that him and Lana might be legitimately. It might be like a Mark Marrow Sable thing.
Yeah,
going
right.
on there.
Which is is Melanie watches my wife watches the Total Divas. She tells me like they act like they're so in love on the show, but granted it's TV still, so they're not stupid. They're in front of a camera. They're not gonna let too much realism in.
Yeah.
Even though it's
I watched it, but
even though supposed to be real or whatever, reality TV.
Yeah. It'd been a while since I watched it, but when I watched it, they were having some problems too.
Were they?
She was out here like a spoiled bitch during their wedding.
Oh, I did. I take that back. I did catch a couple stuff leading up to it where she did not seem like a very pleasant gal, kind of a bridezilla thing going on.
I probably definitely won't watch it now that he's off the fucking show. I fucking loved Rusev was. There was a sign in the crowd one time that said Rusev's my favorite diva, and I fucking loved that because he made that show fucking awesome for a while.
That's funny.
I bet you the views have dropped on that sumbitch since Cena and Nikki broke up too.
Oh yeah, I bet. Like I said, I haven't watched it. She still watches. I know at least she still watches Total Bellas, but that was another one where it's like it's scripted reality TV, so it doesn't really catch my interest. Although we watch pro wrestling, so who am I to say anything?
Yeah, I don't know, but at least there's action in that,
Right.
The Bellas are just such fucking bitches, man. I just can't.
Nikki is so stupid too. Jesus, there's been so many times where I'll sit there. I'll walk into the bedroom, Melanie has it on, and I'm watching for just a couple of minutes. I'm like, how is this bitch on TV? She is so dumb.
Yeah, she's a moron.
Yeah. So okay,
Yeah.
so anyways, moving on. After Jinder came back and squashed Tozawa, we had Andrade beat Apollo, who I thought they were giving him a push. I know you mentioned thought they were giving him a push, and then now they got a storyline knee injury where he's now been pulled out of the Money in the Bank match at the pay-per-view.
Oh, is that what happened? Okay.
Yeah.
I saw him stop that. Oh, so they're probably gonna put Andrade and then
Andrade or Garza or Theory? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine one of the guys from that group.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it's probably Andrade.
Right. Yeah, so like I said, thought they were pushing Apollo, and now they, shit on him again.
I'll tell you what, man. Apollo is a good athlete, and I remember him in NXT. I think we talked about this last week, so kind of being a dead horse. He's one of those guys I think they brought up way too soon.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have utilized him there as a champion, I think, if they would have left him in there to humor a little bit. But
totally agree.
He's not that great on the mic, but he doesn't get a lot of fucking mic time either. You know, he's really been shining a bit lately.
I was actually somewhat impressed because he did have a little bit of mic time in that Money in the Bank segment at the beginning of the show, and actually, like, he seems like he stepped his mic game up, quite a bit from what I remember when he did have, a little bit of mic time, and I was like, oh, okay, he's not as uncomfortable sounding on the mic as he has been in years past. So I was actually pleasantly pleased for the couple minutes that he was able to talk.
Yeah, well, and then they had a segment in the back too. I think that I was kind of like, Charlie, look at Apollo carrying a fucking storyline and shit.
Right.
Good for him. Because he's a hell of an athlete. He's fun to watch in the ring. He just doesn't got a lot of mic personality. And he's black, so we know that doesn't bode well with fucking Vince McMahon. I mean, look at what he did to Titus O'Neil for hugging him on stage that one time.
Yeah, right.
So, well, it's been a while since there's been a black champion,
Right. So, yeah, then after that, we had Street Profits then cut a promo against the Viking Raiders, and they said next week we're going to let you guys come after the tag title. So we got that to look forward to next Monday. Even though as stupid as the Viking Raiders gimmick is, I still am a big fan of Eric and Ivar, Rowan Hansen, their real names.
I hope, I don't know. I like the Street Profits, but this is kind of another Braun Bray deal.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Don't think either one of them have anything. I mean, I don't know. I think that the fucking Viking Raiders should have had the goddamn belts for a long ass time.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're going to do a back and forth thing for the next 6 to 8 months, which
the only person that would have been the only team that would have been good with is the fucking Good Brothers, and they're fucking gone.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
They should have done that with them. I think had the Good Brothers cheat their way into the title a few times, and then whatever,
Yeah, that would have been made for a very entertaining run, but whatever. We're not booking for WWE, so we can only spitball on our podcast here.
Yeah.
So after that promo was cut, then we had Ricochet and Cedric Alexander take on NXT tag team some French Canucks by the name of Everrise, and they finally gave Ricochet and Alexander a tag team name the other day, the Two Fly Crew.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You have to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah. So it's a stereotypical, we got two black guys together, got to give them some, some hip hop sounding name or whatever.
Fucking God.
Right.
I'm not even going to comment on it. Let's just keep going.
Okay, fair enough. Then like I mentioned earlier about MVP cutting his promo about having Shane Thorne, Brendan Vink take on Two Fly Crew next week on Raw. And then lastly, we ended with McIntyre and Rollins contract signing. Buddy Murphy made his return to save Rollins, save Seth from getting a Claymore. And instead, Buddy Murphy took the Claymore, and then that was kind of the end of the show.
I was wondering what was going on with that, if they were going to break that faction up already or what. Because
one of the, I can't think whether it's freaking Akam or Razor, but one of those two guys is hurt right now, so that's why that's been kind
That's
of,
why you.
yeah, that's why we haven't seen AOP on TV.
That sucks because that was a good little faction going on. They should utilize the other guy to at least be muscle and get some work.
Yeah, you would think so, just to keep, and Seth he's a good enough heel that him having a bruiser, in front of him, and then having Murphy being his crash dummy, essentially just the guy to take all the big bumps. I think, be a great way to, and especially to keep Seth getting heat that way by throwing his lackeys in front of everybody.
Yeah, yeah. Seth's a way better heel. I like this Monday Night Messiah persona. I think it's good. A lot of people are shitting on it right now, but I think a lot of people. I mean, I try to give credit where credit's due with WWE. It's hard some days, but I'm a fucking Seth Rollins guy. I love Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with him is they overused him because they didn't have anybody else worth a shit for a while.
Right, right. Which is
And
kind
now
of,
everybody's
kind of the boat. I was gonna say that's kind of the boat we're in with the pandemic, is everybody's kind of getting overused, so everybody's kind of, everybody's kind of oversaturated, to an extent right now.
Yeah.
Because you literally see the same, 14 guys, 16 guys, whatever the number is, every fucking week, because those are the guys that are willing to work during these crazy times, which is totally fine and good, and for those guys. But it's like, fuck, man, how many times are we just gonna see the same recycled shit from week to week?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So that was the end of Raw, huh?
That was the end of Raw. So we can go into AEW Dark, which was kind of Jimmy Havoc beat a jobber, and the Best Friends beat a jobber. It was 17, 18 minutes long show, and that was Dark. Yeah, nothing, like I said, nothing to write home about. Just
Right.
just guys keeping busy, and
Jimmy looks like he's gotten ripped.
Jimmy does look like he's put on some weight. He's looking actually pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, he's looking pretty muscular in my opinion. He looks like a different Jimmy Havoc than the first version of Jimmy I saw. Actually, first one kind of looked like your bratty little fucking indie wrestler that got over by making himself get juice all the time.
Right.
But this guy looks, this new Jimmy I've been seeing looks a little bit serious. He's I like it. He's got a different vibe than the original Jimmy Havoc. I wasn't really a fan of him until recently, and I'm starting to grow on me a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. No, I'm digging it. I got some more stuff to bring up about Jimmy when we get to Dynamite here in a little bit. Okay. So now we'll move on to Impact Rebellion Night 2. Like I said, it was kind of a bust because of the whole world title situation. Started off the night with a 4-way between Chris Bay, Suicide, Trey from the Rascals, and Raju from the Denzi Hit Squad. It didn't flow. Like these 4 guys hadn't been in the ring together before. It kind of felt like that. So just the whole match just kind of seemed uncomfortable and very, very what's the word I want to see? Where I saw every move coming. I can't think of what the word is.
Predictable.
Yeah, predictable. I guess that could be the word. That wasn't the word I was thinking of, but that'll totally work. And Chris Bay came out on top. So I was under the impression that the winner of that had a future X Division shot, and I believe that's still the same thing. And then after that, we had Joseph P. Ryan and his cancel culture gimmick take on Cousin Jake from the Deaners. And again, another kind of uneventful, no spots to write home about kind of match. Just kind of whatever. I was like, it was a time filler because they had a 2-hour show and they needed something else to do. The highlight of the night, in my opinion, was the Full Metal Mayhem, aka hardcore match between Havoc and Rosemary, and that was a very entertaining match. And seeing 2 gals beat the shit out of each other with weapons is always entertaining for me too. And there was a pretty entertaining spot where Havoc was about to take a trash can to Rosemary's head, and Rosemary puts a construction hat on her head and hits the trash can off that, and Rosemary's like, oh yeah, I didn't get hit, and then hits Havoc with the trash can. And like I said, it was a pretty entertaining spot. It was that match was originally supposed to be Taya Valkyrie versus Jordan Grace in a Full Metal Mayhem, but for the knockout women's title. But obviously with the pandemic, it didn't come to fruition. So it is what it is. And then to end the night, Michael Elgin came out and was cutting a promo about, hey, neither of these two guys are here. I should be world champion. He was about to be crowned world champion, and then lights went dark. Out came Moose, and he opened up his robe, and he had the TNA world title to be like, hey, if we're not going to have a champ, let's bring this title back. And then kind of out of nowhere, Hernandez comes out, and then they end up having a 3-way. It's pretty decent match. Like I said, nothing crazy to write home about. That's why I told you it was kind of like, it's an okay watch, but it's, I wouldn't have wasted my time if I was you. And Moose came out on top as the new TNA world champion. And I imagine there'll be something that goes on between, I would think, Elgin, Moose, Tessa, and Eddie Edwards when this pandemic is over. I imagine we're going to see something between those four.
Yeah. Huh.
And then to end Tuesday night, we had Dark Side of the Ring with the slap heard around the world with Dr. D, David Schultz.
Yeah. So we haven't talked about any of the Dark Side of the Ring.
Which is a bummer because we've needed to. And this season 2 has been, I wouldn't say like, leaps and bounds better than season 1, but I've definitely enjoyed this season much more than the first season.
Well, I actually would say it's leaps and bounds better, but I did enjoy the first one. I don't want to dump on it,
right?
But the last season got really slow towards the end. Like the Fabulous Moolah one.
Yeah, when they ended with Moolah, and I can't even think who the other was after Moolah. Yeah, it wasn't Dino Bravo. Somebody else that got assassinated that I can't think of or got
the Dino
or whatever.
The Dino Bravo, or no, not Dino Bravo, but the other one. That one was pretty good though. But there was, I don't know, it just wasn't as good. And then but they started out this one. I mean, they didn't fuck around this season. They got Benoit on a 2-parter.
Yeah, that 2-parter, like,
which was
not gonna lie, there was a tearjerker. I'll be the first one to admit it. I shed a couple tears or two, especially with his boy that's still around. Was it Daniel? I can't remember which one got killed, if it was Daniel or David, but whichever boy's still around, I definitely had to wipe a tear or two away, being like, oh man, what a just shitty life for him to know that he existed and all that. Yeah.
Well, and a quick side note on here, I know that there's probably going to be a lot of people that don't like Jim Cornette, and I know that I'm going to reference him a lot here and there because he's one of my main sources of wrestling information. But he did a fucking awesome interview with Kevin Sullivan about his relationship with Nancy Benoit before him and her and Chris took off together, and that had a lot of interesting pieces in it about Nancy, a lot of things that were documented. I mean, they kind of painted Kevin Sullivan as being a piece of shit, but Kevin Sullivan's got a pretty good reputation in the wrestling industry. And not just from Cornette or anybody else. He just does. He's been around a long time. He's done a lot of things in the wrestling business as far as booking goes. A lot of people just remember his Taskmaster gimmick in WCW, but he was important before that. It was kind of his death breath as a wrestler.
Yeah, his wrestling is kind of been nothing to write home about, but his booking, I think, has been phenomenal. And when he brought Nancy in as woman, in the earlier WCW days, like I don't remember it myself, but I've watched footage and this and that, and that was a very very entertaining gimmick.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, it was very very pleasantly surprising, like how not coming from a wrestling background, how quickly she picked it up.
Well, yeah, she's got a lot of great promos if you go back and look at them, and she was a very good ballet. I mean, wrestling's missing good managers nowadays.
Oh, most definitely.
It's sometimes that goes a long ways, but anyways, he said that, like, first off, like, you can look at these, and he was kind of pissed because, like, well, they just did the snippet that he refused to.
Refused to do an interview. Yeah.
Well, that wasn't the case, I guess. He told them that he would do an interview as long as Nancy's parents were okay with it.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't go out and get or get anything from Kevin or get any kind of
okay from
because he was still cool. Yeah, he was still cool with them. Like, and him and Nancy's ending was bad. She ended up fucking stabbing him like
Right.
4
Right.
times.
You were telling me that.
And he, this is all documented. She did like 3 days in jail. Why he sat around nursing himself, asking himself what he wanted to do. And her family convinced him to go drop the charges. So he went and bailed her out and dropped the charges. And that's the only reason she didn't do time in fucking probably prison.
Right.
So, but after that, they hadn't seen each other again for a long time. So he states that a lot of that shit towards the end of their relationship, like that Nancy's sister is saying, is bullshit. But he also thinks that like Nancy might have been like telling her these things, you know, because she wasn't allowed in the back. She wasn't around a lot, and they weren't together a lot. So he wasn't sure what she was being told or what she was under the influence of, you know. But the whole thing, she said that there was a fight between Benoit and Sullivan. They say that match like legitimately broke out and or into a real fight. And anybody else that's been around there said that's an actual work. Like they were working each other. It wasn't real.
Right.
She said that Benoit popped Sullivan's eardrum, which it wasn't the case actually. And you can look at this. It was 2 weeks before that Mike Tyson ear thing happened.
Oh, okay.
So it's super hot. So they were like, hey, let's do an ear thing.
Right.
But yeah, everything was still being filmed. They did go backstage, but everything was still being filmed. And but I don't know what's truth or what's bullshit. I mean, it's just, I think that as it kind of made me want to look into some other shit on my own with these guys doing this, though, if that's the case, you know, like if they're not doing, because he was like, they can't be, obviously they're not fucking Sherlock Holmes, because if they were, they could go look at the records that she stabbed me.
Right.
There's no fucking domestic charges against him at all, but there is domestic charges against her, or through him, you know. So it's like, what kind of shit was Benoit dealing with? Maybe, you know, fuck, who knows?
You know, and
I think that
go ahead.
I think what it boils down to is that the wrestling business is a lot dirtier than these people want to, you know, present it as. Not so much the beyond the ring guys, I think, that are dark side of the ring guys, but like, you know, like the Vicky Guerrero interview, shit like that, you know. There's a lot of roids in there that people don't want to talk about. There's a lot of drugs, you know. I mean, they're talking about Eddie nodding off. I think Eddie, sounds to me like Eddie was off the fucking wagon.
Yeah, right.
Heart problems at his age. Like you know, I know a few people that have died from drug overdoses and had that classified as heart problems.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, no. I mean, it's been like scientifically proven that, you know, extended cocaine use will do crazy shit to your heart. Like it'll shrink your heart, and, you know, heart palpitations and all sorts of crazy shit goes on with that. So yeah, no, it was a different time, obviously, you know, during their time in the 80s and 90s and even early 2000s. And, you know, granted, I think things have been quote unquote cleaned up, you know, probably pretty significantly, you know, with you know, the baseball PED stuff. I bet everybody's kind of cracked down on that, and things have you know, gone in a little bit different direction. But yeah, it was just different times.
Yeah. But anyways, I don't want to give, too much away, I guess. I pretty much reviewed it front to back. But, but god damn, what a fucking crazy ass thing to happen, you know?
Yeah, right.
I do think there's a little more to that, though. I think there's probably some domestic issues that weren't being reported, and some problems that were kind of long term that people didn't want to talk about, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the thing that I like about this season is there's been a couple episodes where I was like, these don't look interesting at all, and they turned out really good. Yeah, like the one this week.
Yeah, the slap heard around the world. You know, that one was pretty good. And then
how far can they dig into this shit? But that really was good. And then the Brawl for All one, I was stoked on the Brawl for All.
Yeah, I was very, very pleased with Brawl for All.
The
Snuka
Snuka one.
Snuka one was I thought was entertaining. It was, it was because all this stuff came back up recently, before he passed
Yeah.
away. So that was, caught my interest. But we still didn't really learn anything new other than,
Yeah, that was.
he got away with a lot of shit.
I was hoping that they would bring in some new. I mean, they did with the. They did bring in something new as far as like the police reports go, but that's about it. There wasn't any real new information besides that, and that other Samoan guy was with him that night, so he probably witnessed Snuka fucking beat the shit out of her and didn't say anything.
Yeah, right.
Um, and then, but yeah, the Dino Bravo one, isn't that who it was? Bravo, Dino
Yeah,
Bravo.
Dino Bravo. Yeah.
That one was okay, but nothing to write home
I
about.
mean, he passed away basically, a little before our time, or if we did ever
Mhm.
see him, it was when we were youngsters, so he probably would vaguely even remember his time on TV.
Yeah, but yeah, that one last week was really good.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
one about the slap. That made me feel bad for that guy, and I was like, "This dude is a fucking great promo.
Oh
What a
yeah,
fucking good heel that guy
Schultz.
was."
Yeah, Schultz. What a great heel he was, and the fact that he went as far as he did to keep kayfabe was yeah, pretty gung ho for the
Yeah,
business.
yeah, that reporter's a little bitch,
Yeah, oh,
man.
yeah, big time. Like
Well,
I
I think
texted you while watching it. Like I was legit angry listen to this dude talk, and the fact that
it sucks.
the Dark Side of the Ring guys gave him so much, you know, uh, leeway to still be a little pissant, crybaby bitch about it. It was just like, oh, I just kept getting angrier and angrier listening to him talk.
Yeah, yeah, he was a little bitch, and then that other dude's a little bitch too. The guy that fucking
Oh,
did the
Eddie
whole.
Mansfield, yeah,
Yeah, that fucking douchebag. He got what he fucking deserved, nothing.
yeah, right, getting
But
blackballed.
but yeah, I feel bad for that other guy. And then on top of that, Vince fucked him too hard.
Vince and Hogan fucked him over.
Vince was like, "Well, I need you to take responsibility for this," and he's, "No, fuck
Like,
you."
no,
And then
you told me to interview this dude and to keep kayfabe, so
oh,
I
and then
kept
the
kayfabe.
the Japanese thing where they made it a storyline, which made it worse.
Yeah, right, right. And
Yeah.
over in Japan, it's 10 times more where they believe everything is
hmm
legit in the pro wrestling world. Like they didn't figure out kayfabe until a couple of years ago, kind of thing.
Yeah. And then that's funny because well, and then he becomes one of like the biggest fucking bounty hunters in the world.
That was pretty entertaining.
Yeah,
He was
some
the
of that shit was
original
funny.
dog.
Yeah, he was totally, totally. I bet you Dog the Bounty Hunter drew some inspiration off that
Yeah,
guy.
right. I'm gonna be like David Schultz when I grow up.
Yeah, yeah, but anybody who's out there that's listening that's not watching Dark Side of the Ring, if you're a wrestling fan, dude,
Oh, it's a must.
even if you're not,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, my wife, she had just sat damn through near every episode with me, and she's not as big a gung ho wrestling fan as we are, but she goes around
yeah,
to events and will watch shows with me, but she's really enjoyed it too.
yeah, and I mean, Claire's kind of the same way. I think out of everything we watch that's wrestling, it's the one thing she actually doesn't dread sitting through anymore.
Right, right.
I try to watch it when she's gone or not home anymore because she's like tired of it all, I think. But I think she does like Dark Side of the Ring.
Right.
It's murder mysteries
Yeah,
kind of shit
exactly.
most of the time,
Exactly. Right.
So it can go for anybody's stuff. But yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah, no, I can't even think what next week's episode is.
I can't remember what they said it was, but I'm looking forward to the Owen Hart one. They're going to be finishing the season with that, I bet.
Yeah, I would imagine that's the one they finish with.
They're hard to watch, I bet.
Right. So, okay, we'll move on to Wednesday evening. So I watched AEW first and then didn't watch NXT until this morning. So we start off AEW with Cody beating Darby in the semifinal of the TNT tournament where, I texted you earlier in the day and was like, man, maybe, we're going to see a swerve and we're not going to see Cody and Archer in the final. But, It did end up coming down to Cody got the win, but he only got the win after Darby hit his coffin drop and overrolled, and Cody ended up
Yeah,
getting him on the backslide.
if you look at the footage, his shoulders are up too. It was poorly
Yeah,
done.
it wasn't executed very well. Yeah, that's for
I
sure.
have not been happy with Cody's in-ring shit lately. To be honest, this is probably one of his better matches, and he didn't try that bullshit fucking
That
diamond cutter that he's been doing. But
springboard
that was
cutter.
a shitty. I was looking right at it. Darby's fucking shoulder was up. That's how poor it was.
Yeah, it wasn't executed very well. And the funny thing is I believe that was still a taped match, so they had the opportunity to see the footage and be like, "Hey, maybe we should go out and try and do this match again." And
Or take it from a different camera angle.
yeah, right,
you know?
exactly.
If they would have got, I mean, I think the point was they were trying to get Cody so far in the frame you couldn't see it, but you could see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, did you see this shoulder?
Oh
up?
yeah, no, I saw it, but it
was
was kind of like a
Yep.
it was kind of like a boom boom sort of thing where it's like, wait a minute, he doesn't look like he's pinned. Why is Cody's music playing? I got really confused there for a second because
I know
because I thought
exactly.
wait, he wasn't pinned.
I knew exactly what they were doing the second they did it because I was like, oh, yep, they're gonna try to do this reversal thing,
Right.
and fuck Darby over.
Right.
Which and then the whole thing. So first off, I think they were trying to do a technical match.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were trying to do that to, basically just show people that there's more to Darby Allin than
Just taking
the
big bumps,
hype.
yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't bad for a while. It was kind of boring, kind of slow, but they did a pretty good technical match.
Mm-hmm.
But Cody, man, what the fuck is his problem lately, dude? Like, he's pulling that stunner. It's gonna fucking hurt somebody, or that looks like shit off all the time. And then he's got this it's a bullshit finish. It's obviously just been, I don't know, it's fucked up. But all in all, it wasn't a terrible match until that point in time.
Yeah, it was an okay match until the finish, and you're like, wait a minute, that was botched.
I swear to God, Cody's neck tattoo got bigger this week, though.
maybe you had your glasses on and it magnified it.
Well, and another thing too, I got a few notes on this match too. First off, I love that lady ref; she's pretty rad.
Yeah, Aubrey's great. We've seen her.
She's
live.
probably the best ref. She's probably the best ref in the business. Period.
I think that's probably pretty accurate. Her and Drake, whatever his name is from NXT, are probably the two best referees in all of pro wrestling right now. I can't think what his last name is, but he's the the kind of crew cut guy from NXT, a little shorter guy.
Yeah.
Those are the two best referees in all of pro wrestling right now.
I'm so tired of Brandy at the ringside too. Brandy's hot. She's fun to look at, but she's just meh.
She's not very good. She doesn't. It's almost like she doesn't know what the fuck to do out there.
Yeah, well, she wants to be a part of it so badly, or Cody wants her to be. So they're putting her in all these fucking bullshit fucking manager roles,
It'd be better if she was Cody went heel and she was a heel manager.
Mm-hmm. Well, and another thing that she wasn't too bad at was doing interviews and sticking to that. She could be a personality in that sense, I think. She's not bad she's not bad on commentary either. But speaking of commentary, Chris Jericho was an absolute pleasure to hear this week again, as always. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Y2J was pretty good on the old commentary this week.
Oh yeah,
as always.
He's been great on there.
I've never in my life, I don't think ever seen anybody put somebody over so well, but still remain being an asshole the whole time. That was what made me write that down, is that he was talking shit about referee Aubrey, but was still being putting her over.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hope when his wrestling career, he finally hangs up his boots, he puts on the AEW and stays on the commentary team, because he's great in that position.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So
yeah, we'll
so
go to that.
Go ahead. So we Scorpio Sky had his part 2, his vignette about like, I was a guy kind of floating around, didn't know what the hell I was doing. Then I hooked up with Frankie and Christopher Daniels, and hooked up with those guys, and we formed SCU, and it was, it's kind of nice little, because I don't know a whole hell of a lot about Scorpio Sky, until he went to Ring of Honor a few years ago before he signed with AEW. I didn't even know he'd been in the business, 16, 17 years or whatever it was.
Yeah,
And it was, cool nice little vignette, kind of getting to know the guy.
That's what I love those vignettes that they do. That's what sets them apart from WWE, is those great vignettes, man. And like I said, like last week when I was bitching about like this about how that faction with Selena Vega could be better if they would just fucking explain why these guys are relevant,
Yeah, right. Other than just piecing two Hispanic guys and a good looking white kid together. It's like, why are they a team?
Yeah, and why are they so good? Because they look like they don't look real special, Like, explain why they're worth shit, because
Right.
they have an extremely good wrestling past. Go into that some,
Yeah, right.
Don't just let people assume, because, like new wrestling fans, you gotta think somebody brand new watches wrestling every week. You gotta think about that. That's how you keep new fans. You got to explain to people what the fuck is going on,
Yeah, right.
And,
go ahead.
But yeah, I think they're going to try to put him in the title, put him in a title match with Moxley.
Yeah, I think that'll be a very, very entertaining match. I mean, those two guys both look physically good. Not saying that anybody in AEW doesn't look physically good, but those two, just with Mox when he put on that weight and bulked up when he came over.
I wrote a note on that too with his
promo at the end.
Yeah, he's putting on weight again, I think.
Yeah, looks like it.
He's been spending his quarantine time working out. Which is
what you should be doing if you're not able to wrestle, or work on your craft in a different way.
And Moxley, if he put on another 10, 15, 20 pounds or so muscle, he'd fucking look great,
Yeah, right. Got up to closer to 250, but have it be a nice solid muscle 250. Yeah, no, he'd look great. He could, it'd be nice if he was a couple inches taller. He wouldn't look as stocky, but it'd look a little bit more filled out. But no, I mean,
I think
that'll be a great look.
That goes good with him though, because he's supposed to be playing a crazy brute,
right,
That's what he does. So, I think that would be a good look for him. But yeah, he looks like he's probably put on 5-10 pounds of muscle since he's been off.
Right. So after that, then we had MJF's injury update. That was pretty entertaining.
Yeah. His shaving accident.
Yeah, his hangnail, the fastest recovery ever for a hangnail. Now he has the neck brace with his shaving injury.
He's supposed to be back next week, right?
Yeah. They're going back to live TV next week, so we're gonna see a handful of people come back.
Cool.
Yeah.
Should be a good week. Maybe they'll bring in the revival next week then.
Maybe we could always see that. Because they don't have the 90-day no compete clause. They ended up not having one, so it works out for them.
Well, the Bucks and Omega should be back in Page too, right?
I know at least Kenny and Matt Hardy are going to have a tag match against the Sex Gods, Jericho and Sammy Guevara.
Is that what they're calling
themselves? They're calling themselves Les Sex Gods.
Oh my God. That's gonna be good.
Everything that Chris does is fucking gold, man. Like
the Bubbly Bunch was epic this week.
Yeah, all those cameos. What a bunch of good cameos, man. Jericho's dad, Corey Taylor, Duff McKagan, Jay and Silent Bob,
Lou Ferrigno,
yeah, fucking Fluffy, Virgil, Vicky Guerrero, and then I didn't know who the heavyset guy was with all the ladies till I looked it up. I never watched the Tiger King, but apparently he's one of the guys from the Tiger King.
Yeah, that's what I thought that was him, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, I haven't watched the Netflix series, so I didn't know who the hell he was. So, but I looked up like who the fuck were all the cameos, because I know Duff McKagan, but I didn't know what Duff McKagan look like, and I was like, oh, okay, that's Duff McKagan. He's the guy that always gives Jericho the jokes on his podcast.
Yeah, they're friends.
Yeah, right.
Actually, too, fun fact, we talked about Duff McKagan on one of my other podcasts
ya?
this week too, because yeah, him and Shooter Jennings are good friends. Shooter just produced his album, so
Oh, okay, that's cool.
yeah, random piece of the random tidbit for you guys out there today.
Yeah, for a little music knowledge for everybody.
Yeah,
And then before the Bubbly Bunch, which, like I said, was a great segment. We had Wardlow just destroy Musa. That
Hmm.
that corner freaking go to sleep thing that he does, like, oh my god, I thought he killed Musa.
yeah,
Holy shit! Like,
yeah,
I mean, but Wardlow, you and I both were very unsure when he started, but he's been very impressive in the ring.
yeah. And I like it when that happens too, because nobody knew who the fuck he was,
Yeah,
really.
I knew he was an indie guy and he was a big, physically big dude. But beside that, I was like, I don't know who the fuck Wardlow is.
Yeah, they. I expect him to be terrible and just somebody to follow MJF around for a
Yeah,
while.
but
But no, he held his own. I think he'll be a title holder at some point in
yeah,
time in
right.
the next years, 2-3 years,
Yeah,
probably.
folks did their scouting. You know, got a. I wouldn't say
They sure did.
an A plus, but they sure did a damn good job picking him up.
Well, yeah, and if he's young enough, they could turn him into an A plus. Though I
Right,
think he's
right.
a lot better than Kevin Nash or anybody
Yeah,
else.
right. I mean,
That's
doesn't have quite Kevin's size, but you know, he's still 6'4", 270 or whatever he is.
a lot better in the ring than Kevin Nash was
Yeah,
too.
he has more than 3 moves.
Honestly, kind of reminds me of a young Undertaker with how he moves in there. I mean, like you said, not as big as the Undertaker, pretty close though.
Right, right.
But he moves a lot like Taker did back in the day. And
Yeah, the early Dead Man days.
yeah,
So then after the Bubbly Bunch, we had the Best Friends took on Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian in that no DQ match. I was very pleased with that match. The best
yeah,
friends have been looking very good, and Jimmy Havoc and Kip
they have.
Sabian look good, and Jimmy Havoc takes some great bumps too. Like they beat the shit out of him, and Jimmy made it look good.
Hmm. Yeah, they. I was never a Best Friends guy. I've always liked not Chuck. What's the other dude's name?
Trent Beretta.
It's Trent. Yeah, I've always liked Trent, but I've never been a Chuck fan. But I'm actually they're growing on me. I've always liked it. Well, I won't say I've always liked Orange Cassidy, but he grew on me really fast though.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him live once. We saw him at Prestige when he wrestled Sue Young, Rich Schwann's wife, and that was a very entertaining match with a guy with his hands in his pockets and then an undead bride walking around, and it was a very entertaining match. And he's just as good as he is on TV as he is live.
Yeah, yeah, he seems. I like that shtick. It's a pretty good one.
So after, go ahead.
Nope. You keep going, man.
Yeah, just gonna moving on. Britt Baker cut another promo. I think she's gonna probably start getting a lot of heat, for this one, especially when she was bringing up her role model rules and how you can't be, have bad teeth or can't be fat
Oh
or
yeah,
can't be, whatever the case. And it was, oh yeah, don't take pictures or whatever the hell it was. But she
yeah.
has gotten her promo skills have, I think, improved very much in
Oh,
this quarantine
somebody's
time.
working with that girl in the back. I
Yeah.
wonder who's got a hold of her back there.
But she's
Maybe.
getting some good heat. And yeah, I know you're not a huge fan of the AEW women's division, but promo wise or vignette wise, whatever you want to call it, she's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, you're right. I'll give her that. I mean, she's still dog shit in the ring, but she is getting better. She is getting better in the sense that she's at least fucking entertaining. And I think Tony Schiavone helped with that a little bit too.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, that was a pretty good little piece.
Yeah, right.
I thought too.
Then after that, we had Sean Spears beat another jobber. I can't remember what the jobber's name was, but anyways, beat that guy. And then he apparently went to Twitter or something like that afterwards, and now he is claiming that the sharpshooter is his move. Yeah. So
what happened to his fucking partner?
Tully?
Fucking no, he was gonna do a nationwide partner.
I think the pandemic's probably slowed that down. I mean, that's why we haven't seen Tully, is running around with him too.
I wonder what they're planning with that.
Yeah, no idea there. But I mean that they have so many tag teams in in AEW. That's like it's almost like, do we really need
Yeah.
another tag team now that we got Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian tagging, which they're great together. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's like, fuck, we got another tag team in AEW, and whatever happens with the Revolt, it's like then we're gonna have another tag team. They're easily gonna be like 12 or 13 tag teams deep.
Yeah,
which is
well,
not a bad problem to have, but it's just like, man, where are you going to fit all these guys?
Since this happened, this is what I would do if I was booking. I would put, because I think they were getting ready to put the belts on the Bucks. I'd put that on hold for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Have them feud with the Revival instead.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'd put LAX in the title picture right away. Or
another tag team that you're not a fan of. I think give the Dark Order the belts for a little bit and let them kind of hold on to it, and then but using the minions, to jump in there and beat the shit out of people when they're not paying attention and this and that, and use it like that quote unquote gang mentality, in the sense that they're using all these lackeys to get them over and get them some more heat.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know you're not a fan of the Dark Order.
I think LAX would be a better one to have. They do some more gold in the fucking inner circle.
Right. Yeah. So after that, then we had Brody and Marco. That was kind of exactly what I thought it was going to be. You're going to watch Brody Lee just dismantle a Marco like we all thought it was going to be.
Well, I actually kind of thought they put Marco over quite a bit, and so did Jericho. Jericho put Marco over.
Jericho did. Yeah, Jericho definitely did. But I mean, we knew that there wasn't a chance in hell that he was going to win that match.
Personally, I think it's the best thing I've seen Marco in.
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering where they're going with it. I wonder if they're going to try to get Marco in the Dark Order.
I bet they're going to try and recruit him. You're a little guy. You keep losing. Come join with the numbers, and maybe that'll start a feud between the Dark Order and Jurassic Express. Give them something to do.
Well, I think what's going to happen is Luchasaurus is going to have to come in and whoop Brody's ass,
right?
And be the first person to give Brody a run for his money, and give Luchasaurus a little bit of a rub. I think
Yeah, totally could see that.
Yeah.
So then we already talked about the Mox promo. We already touched base on that, and he said he will be there next week as well. And then we ended the night. Go ahead.
Well, he's fighting another guy from SCU, the other dude, which makes me think that's why they're going to try to
Frankie Kazarian. Yeah, forgot about that.
Put Scorpio in the next, because they're doing they're doing the push for Scorpio,
right?
And then they're doing this. I'm almost wondering if they're going to try to work it in somehow that Scorpio gets a title shot somehow.
Right. No, I could see that. And then, like I said, then we ended the night with Lance Archer beating Dustin to then make the finals of the TNT Championship between Cody and Lance Archer, which we kind of all saw the writing on the wall when we saw the brackets.
Yeah. You text me, tell me you thought I'd like Lance even more after that, and then Jody told me that it was the best AEW she'd seen in a while.
Right.
But so I think my expectations on the match going in here and all that were a little higher than what I got.
Okay.
It was a good match. It's not like I'm any less impressed with Lance, but I thought I was gonna see a lot more than I did. Other than that fucking shit with him walking the rope
with the moonsault. That's right after that happened. That's when I texted you. I was like, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be pleased with that.
But that was kind of just the high point of it all, I think. I mean, I kind of expected Dustin to get some more juice. I expected him to get his ass kicked a little more. I don't know what I just expected maybe the fact that I expected that and then everybody telling me how great it was just kind of was lackluster to me a little bit. I mean, anybody who hasn't watched it that's listening, one of our 4 people, but if you haven't watched, I mean, it's a good match. It's worth watching, especially just for that moonsault alone. That was insane.
Yeah, that was a very good spot.
But I think I just expected fireworks. I just expected something insane, and And it was good.
Which we might get a Double or Nothing when it's Cody and Lance in the ring together. We might get fireworks and see, something they're
I
gonna
think
try
we
and
will.
shoot for, match of the year kind of thing. Yes, I'm hoping we'll
I
get
think we
that.
will. One thing I've got to say is, with as much of a brute as he is, I don't think he's very real life strong.
Okay.
I worry.
Can see that.
I fucking worry about that finishing move that he does.
That crucifix powerbomb they call the blackout. Yeah.
Yeah. The only people he's done it on are little dudes. He had problems doing it to Colt last week. Colt's not huge.
And that's why I think he ended.
Don't kill that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's why he ended with the claw, because he knew that Dustin might be too big and he wouldn't be able to get the move over. So he has the blackout for his smaller competitors, and then he has the EBD claw when he's got guys that he knows he can't execute that move on.
Mm-hmm. Fuck, it was great to have Jake the Snake on his promos and shit like that, and to help build him up. But fuck, I don't think he needs him.
I don't think he needs him either. But he's still a nice.
I haven't heard him on the mic. Is he on the mic? I've never heard him on the mic.
He just talks about how he's always gonna. He just basically saying I'm gonna destroy everybody. Everybody's gonna die. That's the kind of his shtick is his mantra. Yeah. EBD. Everybody dies.
But is that just how it is with his older stuff too?
Yeah, I mean he wasn't. Granted, he spent. I don't remember much of his stuff in WWE, but when he was in Japan, it was just like, I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna say some crazy shit about how I'm gonna fucking kill everybody. I'm gonna spit some water on some people. I'm gonna beat up some young lions and toss some reporters around, and then I'm gonna walk out. So it was in and out, just high intensity. Just I'm gonna fuck a bunch of shit up, be around for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and then be done.
That was funny. His entrance was great too, when that dude just came flying out of the fucking. That was good. I hadn't seen that ever. I don't think, not in that capacity where some random he's just beating everybody's ass all the time.
Right.
Even the Eagles were talking shit to him. That's how great, dude. Like you were saying, I don't understand why WWE hasn't put wrestlers outside the rings, because that's just added. I think that's really what's put the extra little bit of frosting on that fucking piece of cake, man. Is that the wrestlers are great. They know how to be fans better than anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Listening to Austin Gunn out there, and listen to Sean Spears over on the heel side. Those two guys make it very entertaining out there.
Well, yeah, and then the heels even turned on Lance Archer.
Right.
They were like, "Fuck you! What are you doing, man?" So like that even put him over even more.
Right.
Crazy fuck, when the heels are like, "This dude's crazy, fuck him," And you got Jericho on fucking commentary saying the same shit,
Right.
Yeah, it was, in that sense, it was good. I mean, but fuck, just anything Jericho's done over the past weeks on commentary's done nothing but help that show. It's hard for me to watch anything else, really.
Listening to him, and then I would listen to the guys from NXT. What was it? Mauro Ranallo and Beth Phoenix was just like, oh my goodness. I know Mauro gets excited and tries to make things, make the moves bigger than they are, but it's just he's so I have to call the match, I have to call the move, call the spots, this and that he doesn't, and he tries to make little onesie twosie little one-liners or whatever, but it just doesn't. Jericho the guy's been doing it a long time. Mauro Ranallo's been sports broadcasting, but Jericho's been Jericho for a lot of years. So yeah, he's figured out how to do it.
Well, truth be told, I've never really been a huge fan of Marlo, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I first came across him in his MMA days when he was on Access TV, so I knew kind of what WWE was getting into, and he's the same thing, and he makes things sound entertaining, but he's almost calling the spots like they're too big. It's different when you're watching an MMA fight and you're watching a dude get pummeled and get or a big roundhouse and he gets knocked out or whatever the case, compared to making a big move in the WWE sound bigger than what it is.
Well, I think 110%. He just like it's his voice that bugs me. You know, he's an okay commentator, but it's a personal thing with me. Like I just don't like the sound of
It's
his fucking
same
voice.
thing with me with Cornette. Like I think Cornette's great when I would watch NWA, these reruns that that are on YouTube or watching NWA Power, but then listen to Cornette on this podcast and I'm just like, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. He's great on commentary, but
I
I
like
can't
it.
stand how crotchety he is on his podcast that I can't listen to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's just I don't know. It's just it's the other guy's just the tone of his voice, not so much as
Delivery or whatever.
Yeah. It's more of his just his regular, just how his voice sounds,
Right.
But yeah, I guess that wraps up
Yeah,
AEW. Huh?
then we move on to NXT, which, like I said, I watched this morning. First match to kick off the show was Isaiah Swerve Scott from Tacoma, Washington, local guy for us, against Phantasm, El Hijo de Phantasm, and I expected a lot. I was really excited for this match, for this in this interim cruiserweight title, and this match just underperformed aside from one DDT spot a Hurricane Rana spot. That other than that, it was just like what a bummer letdown was, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of fast forwarded through the whole rest of the show just to see who got the win, who got the loss. But
yeah,
the show bummed me, or that match bummed me out because I personally had high expectations for it.
I thought that match wasn't too bad, but I didn't think it was great.
I just had very high expectations between those two. Like that's why I thought that's what I was hoping. I was hoping that's what the B block came down to, was the match between those two guys, and they just, like I said, it just underperformed for me and kind of let me down.
Yeah, maybe it's just the fact that I didn't expect shit out of it is why I thought it was okay.
Okay, I mean, I totally get that. Like I've seen Swerve live because he was Defy guy, so he's local for us, and then I haven't followed Phantasm's career in Mexico, but I've done enough of my own research, watching the stuff from CMLL, that I was like, okay, this is gonna be good shit, and then it just, like I said, just underperformed and put a sour taste in my mouth for the rest of the show.
Yeah. Well, what was next? I can't remember.
Candice LeRae versus Casey I can't pronounce her last name, but Ricochet's girlfriend.
Yeah, that was hard to say.
Yeah, it was a little rough. And then we had Charlotte and Mia Yim after that, which was a good match, but it was, like I said, I think I was already kind of butthurt about how the show started, that I was just like, nope, I'm gonna watch for some decent spots, but other than that, I'm just gonna kind of breeze through it.
Kind of butthurt about Charlotte being in NXT right now.
They need viewers. They need to try and beat AEW. They did it for a couple weeks, and then they underperformed the last 2 weeks or whatever when it comes to TV ratings. So I think that's part of the reason she's down there.
If shit keeps going the way it is, I wouldn't be surprised if AEW beats Raw and the fucking viewers here pretty quick.
Raw's still drawn like one. They've had shitty goings, but they still drew 1.8 million people this last Monday, and AEW is only getting like 890,000.
It seems to me like every fucking week Raw drops off more.
It's been very bad during the pandemic. Like every week I look on the dirt sheets and it's like a new low for Raw viewership, a new low for Raw viewership every Tuesday morning when I look at it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I can't imagine. I think Fox is a little pissed right now too, because I think the SmackDown views are pretty low.
They're doing just about the same as Raw. They're around just under 2 million viewers.
From what I understand too, SmackDown wanted Brock real bad, and they were unhappy that they got Bray instead.
Which I get, and they know who Brock Lesnar is, from the MMA world. They don't know who Bray Wyatt is, but Bray Wyatt is one of the most over dudes in WWE right now. It's like, no, we want to give you one of our most over guys right now. Like, no, you guys want this dude.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if anybody else has higher merch sales than Bray, aside from maybe Cena.
Yeah, right. Well, Roman has he's been the guy that the last 2 or 3 years has had the top sales. Last 2 or 3 years.
Speaking of Roman, I just read little piece on him while we were on one of our breaks, and apparently, I mean, I didn't read all of it, but the headlines are that they were not on good terms.
No,
with
they're
each
very
other right now.
upset with him right now. I remember reading that too.
That was off Wrestle Inc. too, which is a pretty good source.
That's usually who I reference my stuff through, is through them most of the time. Yeah, so I can say SmackDown viewership was a little bit better than Raw. Like I said, Raw was 1.8 million. SmackDown viewership was just a little over 2 million this last Friday. So, but it did dip down from the week prior where it was 2.187 billion, or I'm sorry, million. I keep saying billion, but I'm trying to say million. So yeah, viewership is dropping a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah, after Charlotte and Mia Yim, we had Dexter Lumis and Shane Thorne. Like I said, I kind of just breezed through that one. Dexter Lumis picked up the victory. I like that kind of, blank 1,000-yard stare kind of psychopath gimmick that Lumis has got going on. That I don't know what to make of it, but I like it just because it's so eerie and mysterious or whatever. And then we had another matchup in the cruiserweight tournament where I was very surprised with Drake Maverick being fired by the company that they actually gave him a W, and he picked up the W over Tony Nese. I was expecting him to go 0-3 because he's already been released from the company, but the fact that he's 1-1 going into his third matchup is like, oh wow, I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, well, and we know they like Tony Nese. He's been champ.
Yeah, he's been champ at least one time, and he lost.
He's put on some good matches.
He lost at Mania, but he didn't actually lose the match. So he was cutting that promo about I should still be champ because I technically never lost the title. The other guy I was in the match with lost the title or whatever it was. It was 3-way, but I can't remember with who it was. And then we ended the night with Keith Lee beating Damian Priest. Like I said, you probably got more notes than I did. Because I just kind of
honestly, yeah, I didn't really get too many notes on it either because my internet was being shitty, and then I kind of gave up after the first two matches. But I was looking forward to Keith Lee and Damian, and I didn't even get to watch it,
really?
Honestly. Yeah, my internet just totally shit out right before the match, and then I fucking just got pissed because I sat through that with my internet lagging, and it was terrible. So I wasn't really impressed with shit except the first match, and I wasn't even that impressed with that.
Right.
And, so but yeah, I didn't really write any notes on that one either because. So, but yeah, what happened in that? Anything good in that match? Because I was looking forward to it. I just
not really. I mean, they hit their usual spots, and that was about the end of it.
Yeah, I like Keith Lee a lot.
Bask in his glory.
Yeah, he's gonna be one that goes to the main roster and gets buried, though. I think
which is a bummer too, because didn't he have a phenomenal showing at was it WrestleMania, and then he went up to the main roster for something else and had a phenomenal showing, and they were all about him, and then
the Royal Rumble.
That what it was. I couldn't remember if it was Rumble or not.
He went head to head with Brock, and it was great.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah, and that was awesome. Him in the Royal Rumble was great. One of the highest spots of the match, I think. And that's where I really, besides old Ring of Honor shit, that's where I really liked him. He was one of my favorites in Ring of Honor too. But he's been in NXT for a bit now. I almost forgot that that's where he fucking came from. But yeah, I liked him in Ring of Honor. I love him in NXT, so I'm hoping that he gets his fair due, when he goes up.
And then I don't know if they ended the show this way, but they had that Killer Cross now going by the name of Karrion Kross promo with his current or his real life girlfriend Scarlett Bordeaux. I don't know if she's gonna have a new gimmick in NXT or not, but where they snatched up Ciampa, so we're gonna see them in the ring, in the arena next week. So that should be intriguing because they've done a couple vignettes with the TikTok stuff and them doing their thing in NXT. So That should be interesting next week.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be good. I think that'll spice it up some, actually.
Yeah, right.
Something new, something different. I like it already.
Right.
The only little bit I saw was what WWE shared tonight on their Facebook, so I think I'm kind of excited about that. But I think I'm gonna watch it later this week because last week tried to give NXT the benefit of the doubt, and AEW once again had the better show. And with live TV coming back next week and everybody coming back, I think I want to be watching AEW live when it comes on and not NXT this week.
Right. Yeah, it should be interesting, especially with first time seeing Matt Hardy in action and AEW. I know you're not super.
Yeah.
You're kind of over the broken gimmick, but I dig it, and he's going to try and do something different with this broken gimmick because he's got a new entity. He doesn't have I can't even think what the other entity was called when he was with Impact with that gimmick, but now that he's got a different demon or spirit or whatever the hell you want to call him, and he's going to try and do some different stuff when he's done some interviews.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not gonna write it off as complete bullshit yet, especially since he's been working with Jericho.
Right.
So wasn't he supposed to do something weren't they supposed to do a match at the Hardy compound?
He told he wanted Chris to come over and have a match at the Hardy compound. And he said, okay, well, if Chris doesn't want to have a match at the Hardy compound, then I'm gonna say, hey, let's have his little buddy Sammy Guevara come have a match at the compound. But I think because of the pandemic, it didn't pan out. And I don't know how much you see on Twitter, but his wife Rebby is very outspoken about not wanting him to do anything or be forced or pressured into doing anything, during these crazy times. So,
well, he's getting older.
Right. He's not a young man either. So, last bit of wrestling news before I think we wind things down is we've had one more layoff from the WWE world with Curtis Axel getting released today. So no more big team in WWE.
Well, I'm hoping that when they bring Bo back, they make him a part of Bray's thing.
Bring him in as another character from the Funhouse. Yeah,
it's kind of been insinuated, and I think those two working together would be great. Bo's so underused, man.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got just as much potential. I think he's got just as much potential as Bray does, but they've just never used him. And I think they could play off together well. He could make a great character in the Funhouse.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, he's got enough personality and charisma about him, especially when after he left NXT. I mean, he had that gimmick in NXT, but most everybody got exposed to it when he came to WWE, where everybody Bo leave and all that stuff. Like that was an entertaining, goofy gimmick.
Yeah, and I mean, they could almost do something with that in the fucking play or in the Funhouse.
Sure. They could twist something. I mean, I think like we've talked about our first show that one of the highlights of WrestleMania, or if not the highlight, was the Firefly Funhouse, and that's the one thing the Hollywood writers got right was doing that crazy shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they made that very personal too. I mean, I think I was more of a fan of the
Boneyard match.
Yeah, but the Funhouse match was a trip too. So I'm really hoping that I'm hoping Bo comes back and does something because it's been insinuated. Bo made a Twitter post that kind of insinuated that they were going to do something. Okay. Or maybe I just took it that way
because you want to see it.
Yeah, I've wanted to see it for a long time. I wanted to see him join the Wyatt.
Yeah, I thought he would have been great in the Wyatt family. I wanted to see him.
But
and even he could have been.
Don't think they got a lot
of. He even could have been the lackey in the group that got his ass kicked all the time, but still, then had his big brothers from the family come, back him up, kind of thing, and have the big brother and Bray. I think he would have been great in the Wyatt family. Kind of the way they implemented Daniel in there, but they could have done it a little differently since Daniel was part of the Wyatt family for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that was a good. I liked that though. That was actually great. That was one of the best Wyatt storylines. Is the one with Daniel.
Yeah,
Bryan.
I think that was a great storyline.
But yeah, I think they could have done something with him there. I'm hoping they do something with
Right.
him. The thing about Curtis Axel is like I don't want to shit on him too much, mainly because he's a country music fan and he likes independent country music. So he's like been spreading around some of my friends in the backstage area,
Oh, really?
I guess. So yeah, he's a Shooter fan. He's a Josh Morningstar
Okay, I
fan.
know Gallows and Morningstar are actually like legit like good buddies.
Yeah, and but I think Gallows introduced Axel to Morningstar because of his love for Shooter and stuff. Because like Axel got Shooter fucking passes to WrestleMania a few years ago and shit. And but yeah, he's a legit country music fan. I'm trying to think. He likes a bunch of fucking people, but I know that he's getting a lot of these guys in the back into the fucking kind of music I'm into. So I don't want to shit on them too much,
Right.
but. To be honest, I've never been too impressed with him. I want to be because he's Kurt Hennig's
Yeah,
son.
exactly. I mean, he's got the lineage where you want to like him, you know. And I dug the B team. I thought that was a very I like
Yeah, that was
goofy
pretty.
shit sometimes. So like the B team was right up
And it
my
wasn't
alley.
bad. He wasn't awful as the IC champ when Heyman was his manager, but it still wasn't all that good. He's just nothing special, you know.
Yeah, he doesn't bring
But maybe
anything uber
place.
sexy or out of the norm to the table.
Yeah, I mean, but maybe he'll go someplace and he'll get to fucking do something, you know, like MLW would be a good spot for him.
Send him to Impact
Ring of
or when
Honor.
NWA comes back, throw him in the mix at
Ooh.
NWA.
Yeah, Impact's a good spot
Yeah,
too.
I think either of those two would be very beneficial to those companies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe he'll shine there, get a little bit of TV time, be himself a little bit more. So I think he's got some personality to him, you know, but just nothing real special in the ring. But when your dad's fucking Kurt Hennig,
yeah, right,
you know. I mean, we talked about Pacific Northwest wrestlers last week. I mean, speaking of, that's where Kurt Hennig got.
Yeah, that's where he cut his teeth. Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he looked like shit up here. He was so awkward looking. I don't know if you've seen any of the old footage of him.
I've seen a couple stills, but never actual footage. I haven't watched any of that.
Yeah, he's a fro because his hair is so naturally curly, and he was a lot smaller and couldn't talk as good. And yeah, he was real green up here, and he had definitely not defined his character as Mr. Perfect or the Kurt Hennig that we know.
Right.
You know. But that's another one too. It's sad because I think Kurt Hennig would have made a great champion, and I don't think he ever held the big belt. Maybe in WCW for a minute.
I think he was like the U.S. title holder and maybe held like the TV title or something like that, but never anything extremely large or extremely significant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was such a good. I mean, I remember in the early '90s, such a great guy on the commentary too, and his little pieces were great too with his fucking, you know, throwing the ball at shit. Which people say like that was kind of his actual thing. He was like one of those guys who's naturally good at everything.
Really, where he could hit those trick shots like it was like, man, this is what I do.
Yeah, I think maybe not so much that's what he did, but a lot of that shit was filmed, like, you know, besides the real hokey shit where he threw his own touchdown passes and shit. But a lot of those trick shots and the golf shots and shit like that were legit real. Like he was a great golfer, great basketball player.
Just a natural athlete.
Yeah. But,
so,
yeah.
That's all we got for the week, I think. Unless you got anything else.
I don't. I can't think of anything. It was kind of uneventful as far as news goes, but I guess in comparison to last week, we had a lot to talk about there because of all the layoffs.
Yeah, the layoffs.
We got to do our drafts and stuff.
Right, in our first interview with MV Young, that was a good talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll have to get another one on here pretty quick. I don't want to oversaturate it. Plus, you know, it's not like dog water where I know everybody and I can get them to do shit for free. Like I feel bad asking people I don't know for shit for free.
Right.
So you gotta spread out the dough a little bit, you know. So, but yeah, all right, man. Well, I guess we'll
until next week, right?
Next week.
Until next week.
Yeah. next week is the take-home week for Money in the Bank, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that WWE has nothing entertaining planned for
We
that.
got a rematch between Otis and Dolph, so that should be entertaining, I think.
Yeah.
It's tomorrow
I don't
night.
even know what else
Yeah.
I've heard. Okay. That's tomorrow night, and more Funhouse shit, I guess, and then next week will be good though with them going live, with AEW going live again.
And Raw, SmackDown, and NXT all went live this week. So, but it still was kind of the same lackluster show. So maybe once AEW goes live, they'll step up their game a little bit more as well.
I think it'll be different because there's people coming back, and you got Hardy on there. I think it'll be different with them going live again.
Right.
So, well, all right, man. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like our page if you haven't already. Spread the word. If you guys have any questions or any topics you would like us to cover on the show, you can hit us up via Facebook, or we're at all lowercase letters, mattmarksforlife@gmail.com. So we're waiting patiently for somebody to reach out to us. We're getting listens, but I don't know if they're how connected we are with the fans yet, but it's a patience thing. Yeah, all right, man. I'll see you next week, or hear you next week.
All right.
Here is the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And Dusty, your fans welcome you back, man.
First of all, I would like to thank the many, many fans throughout this country that wrote cards and letters to Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, while I was down. Secondly, I want to thank Jim Crockett Promotions for waiting and taking the time, because I know how important it was. Starrcade 85 it is to the wrestling fans, it is to Jim Crockett Promotions. And Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, with that weight, got what I wanted. Ric Flair, the world's heavyweight champion. I don't have to say a lot more about the way I feel about Ric Flair. No respect, no honor. There is no honor among thieves in the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work and got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times are when the auto workers are out of work and they tell them go home. And hard times are when a man has worked at a job 30 years. 30 years, they give him a watch, kick him in the butt, and say, hey, a computer took your place, Daddy. That's hard time. That's hard time. And Ric Flair, you put hard times on this country by taking Dusty Rhodes out. That's hard time. And we all had hard times together. I admit I don't look like the athlete of the day supposed to look. My belly's just a little big. My hind is just a little big. But brother, I am bad and they know I'm bad. And there were 2 bad people. One was John Wayne and he's dead, brother. And the other one's right here. Nature Boy Ric Flair. The world's heavyweight title belongs to these people. I'm gonna reach out right now. I want you at home to know my hand is touching your hand for this gathering of the biggest body of people in this country, in this universe, all over the world now, reaching out because the love that was given me, and this time I will repay you now, because I will be the next world's heavyweight champion on this Hard Time Blues. Dusty Rhodes Tour 85 and Ric Flair, Nature Boy. Let me leave you with this. One way to hurt Ric Flair is to take what he cherishes more than anything in the world. That's the world's heavyweight title. I'm gonna take it. I've been there twice. This time when I take it, Daddy, I'm gonna take it for you. Let's gather for it. Don't let me down now, because I came back for you, for that man up there that died 10, 12 years ago and never got the opportunity to see a real world champion. And I'm proud of you, and thank God I have you. And I love you. Love you!